Girl, I cannot wait till you meet Yasmina Ksikes. She's a chef, she's a mother. Beyond, she's an extraordinary woman who has had a journey from Casablanca to America. From the highest highs to some really lows. And she shares her journey of how no matter what, she always follows her intuition. Every low, she seemed to rise even higher. So from me to you need to watch this. You'll be inspired, you'll be empowered. Girl, you're gonna have all of this after you listen to Yasmina because she is low-key life-changing. I cannot wait for you to meet her. I met her at a cooking class, honestly, and I knew I needed to speak to her. I cannot wait for you to meet her. Beautiful people, I have this incredible woman, Yasmina Ksikes, sitting in front of me. I met her, 2 weeks ago? At a cooking class. My boyfriend took a cooking class and he wanted to go, he loves Morocco. So I'm online looking for Morocco dinner, how to cook Moroccan, something to please this man. And I find Yasmina. So I walk into the house. Mind you, she's a chef, she's a mother, but her energy is more than anything you've ever experienced in your life. I walked in your house and I was just like, this is where we're supposed to be right now. And between you and me, Jason's like, where are you bringing me? That's what he looked at me. And then he had the best night of his life. Oh. It literally was the best night ever. So I just want to say first, thank you for such an experience. I didn't even feel, I learned how to cook the best food, Moroccan food. If you guys haven't been to Morocco, you need to go. But you brought so much light into my life and I was so more interested in you than the food. I was like, I need to know this woman. The food was beyond. Like my taste buds are all over the place. Jason was so happy. His belly was so full. But I was like, there's something with this woman I need to know more of. Yeah. So welcome to Girl We Got This, first and foremost.
Thank you.
I'm stoked for you to be here.
Thank you.
So I want you to tell the people, where are you from? I know you're from Morocco.
Yep.
You grew up in Casablanca.
Correct.
Tell me what it was like growing in Casablanca and how you found your passion for cooking.
Well, so cool, so awesome to be here with you. One of the magic things that happen in life, from cooking classes to eating to sharing, breaking bread to here, sharing
Literally.
Life stories with you. I felt the same thing about you. I saw beautiful light and energy, so super happy to be here.
So stoked.
Sharing with everybody. So I was born in Rabat and then parents and I and family moved to Casablanca when I was 6 years old. My grandmother was with us. My grandmother, who is Lala Mina, who I named my whole food journey after. Because she was just a magic woman. She was a powerful woman. She was a wise, patient. Her actions spoke louder than her words, and I loved that so much. She was also a great cook, and she was very affectionate with me. She was there through my whole life until I left for the United States. So growing up in Casablanca, I grew up in a really cool household with lots of food. Morning and noons, our days were punctuated by a awesome meal at noon after we come back from school. So that was the highlight of the day. After school is done at noon, we come home and there is a surprise always, which is this meal crafted with love that my mother, my grandmother, our helper, it's very common in Morocco to have people that that come and help clean and cook and do things. And most of them become part of the family. And they have their own touches that they bring into the meal. So that's something I looked forward to every day. When I wasn't at school, I was grocery shopping with my mother or one of my grandmothers, going for fresh seafood. And Casablanca is so rich in flavors, and Morocco in general, we have a lot of beautiful fresh food.
And your spices are unreal.
Yeah. And so, that's built my palate ever since I was a baby. Because also my mother was such a pro at honoring our palates ever since we were 6 months old, she cooked the freshest foods, played with ingredients, and honored our palates the way they should. And I think that really went into creating this love for flavor that became also an emotional flavor.
Right. Now, growing up, you told me I knew what I wanted to be.
Yep.
There was two things. It was a fashion designer and a chef. And I'm
That's
like,
right.
how the heck did you know what you wanted to be? Because growing up, a lot of us will say crazy things. I wanted to be a lawyer when I was younger.
Yeah.
I tried it after college, hated it. So how did you know that this was your passion as a chef? Like, and how did you decide whether fashion or chef? Like, you know, I think it's so cool when women at a young age know what they want and just go for it.
Yeah.
How did you know?
Very easy. You know what? I knew because these are two things that were clear for me that I love doing. When I wasn't sewing, I also sewed. My grandmother sewed a lot.
Wow.
So I would sit with her and learn how to sew and stitch and do embroideries. And so one of my passions also was to go collect fabric after school, all the leftover fabrics from the fabric rows in Casablanca, and create collections for my dolls.
Wow.
So I did that. I made things from shoes to hats to full-on collections
sweet.
for my dolls when I was 6 until I was 14. Wow. And then I also did things for my little brother. And then when I wasn't doing that or dancing, because music was a huge thing, I was in the kitchen making things. So I was allowed to create endlessly and make the biggest messes if I wanted to in the kitchen, whenever I wanted. And then often I would close the kitchen down and say, this is Yasmina's restaurant.
That's cute.
You're all invited to eat from my menu.
Yeah.
So my, mom, grandmothers loved it because I made things that were not existing in the Moroccan thing. I made little creations that weren't really part of the Moroccan gastronomy.
Right.
And I had a cousin who was often ready to go, who was going to be the guest of honor, who is now a concert pianist, who is incredible. So we were, sense playing with one another. So I knew, I think at 8 years old, I created my brand, and it was called Krias Fashion. And it was going to be a fashion line. Yes. And the cooking was going to be in the side for my ideal husband. I was going to be the wife cooking beautiful things and having children and cooking for my friends. But then I knew I wanted a restaurant. Right. I wanted to live above it. And I had a clear vision. And I'm like, I'm going to trust. In the meantime, there was no such thing as cooking school in Morocco. There was fashion school. Right. All I remember is that when I was 18, I went to school in the morning. I was at the end of which here is 12th grade to finish, graduating. Right. And then my father came, and then he goes, hey, this super cool fashion school just opened and you need to go check it out. Sure enough, I went that afternoon. I didn't go to school. My daddy goes, you've been sewing and drawing and doing illustrations for as long as you want to. Now you can do that. Why not? I went in there, I got accepted, and I joined the next day. I actually left high school before it was done, before I got my diploma, which was really crazy. My mom wanted to kill me. Yeah. She was very upset about that. Yeah. She wanted me to finish, but there was a part of me that was like, let's go. I know what I'm going to be. Yeah. I know it's clear.
Wow. So dope. You just followed that intuition, dude.
Well,
and that your mom was like, I know she was probably freaking.
She was freaking out.
Yeah.
My father was in full confidence of me.
That's so cool.
He knew. He paid for a whole year. He's like, I know my daughter's what she wants, she's going to do it.
And you know.
I did know. And I could tell, I looked at my mom, I said, I will never regret what I did. And you can tell, you can, even for now, I talk about it and I say, whatever decision I made early on, I knew that I was going to own up fully to it, to the full extent.
Which is brave. You know what I mean? At a young age, to be like, dude, this is my choice. This is my path. This is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And owning it.
Yeah.
Dude, you were already manifesting your life at such a young age. How dope is that?
Hey, that's what we do.
Yeah.
I think if we can tap into the power of manifesting and believing in, we can really do anything we want. Nobody can stop us. Yes. Nobody.
You can preach.
Right?
Literally, 100%.
It's if everybody can believe it. For some people, they need more guidance. Yeah. They need more schooling. They need more things to get into things. And that's great. And that's wonderful. Yeah. I knew my schooling resided in other places. And so math wasn't going to do it for me.
Right.
You know, it was other things. And
Right.
I knew that. And I think a lot of the people out there have that same ability. Everybody's got that ability. It's just about whether you believe it or not.
Exactly. And
That's
I think
it.
it's whether you trust it, because we all have that intuition, especially as women. I don't know what it is. Like, we have that, but it's up to you to choose to follow it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. And the more you believe it, and I think sometimes, you know, all it takes is having one person that can also believe in you.
Yes.
You know, because we are a whole. We don't do things alone.
Yeah.
You know, I do believe that it takes a few lights, a few energies, a few people to believe in your path as well, and to say, you know what, we believe in you too. To seek, not necessarily to seek, but to know that we are receptive to energies that believe in us.
It's like a confirmation.
Yeah.
When somebody confirms what you already believe
Yeah.
and sees your vision, you're already like, yes, I'm on to something.
That's right.
It helps.
Make it a fun journey. Make it a
Yeah.
cool one. I mean, it's a short-lived one when you think about it. You know, we're all here for a limited amount of time.
Yeah.
That's the only thing we can say is limited. It's our time on earth as physical bodies. And we don't know when it's going to end. But, you know, for as long as we can, make it the most exciting adventure. Being in total truth with ourselves. I think that's the biggest gift we can give ourselves, our creator, our people, because we're able to be authentic with everybody around us. And that's it. The rest is, there's no guarantee.
That sounds so beautiful. It's so beautifully said, and it's true. You know, I just wish we were all able to tap into that, because I think if all of us really believed in that and followed our truths and followed our journey and didn't overthink things and didn't second guess things and, you know, didn't let the outside world really get us down, you know, failures keep us low.
Yeah.
You know, us as a woman, as a gender, would be so much more powerful too at this moment. I mean, we're growing and we're becoming what we need to become.
Mm-hmm.
But if we had that intuition that you had as a 12th grader graduating into fashion designer, every woman, could you imagine?
I mean, I can. And we see snippets of it here and there. We see it when it happens, and we know how magnetic and how powerful and inspiring for everybody it is to see it. So the more of it, if we invite, you know, as women, bringing our women tribe together, believing in the power we have. I mean, we are made to create life within.
Literally.
It's a huge thing that we have a gift to bring life, manifesting it through a physical body. That's one little thing we can do like that. So if we can tap into that for other things, then the world is ours.
Literally.
I mean, the world is ours. We can really manifest anything we want. It's just a matter of putting it here and choosing.
Yes.
We choose what we want to be and manifest.
And I think that's the biggest thing. It's a choice.
Yes.
And you have to make that mental choice in your head to be like, this is who I am. This is what I want to do. This is what I'm doing. Yeah. And following it and believing and trusting your path. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to get back to, now we're in fashion school.
Yeah.
How did fashion school go?
It was really amazing. It was such a dream spending those, few years in there with creatives, you know, learning about things that I did instinctively, but actually getting to see them drawn out in computer, making, you know, doing things for a fashion show, you know, coming together with illustrators, knowing how to illustrate differently, you know, based on the guidelines. I loved all that so much. The only thing I didn't love after a while is school. The notion of school. Yes. I did not love the idea of grades. I did not love the idea of being there from one time to another and being released at a time that wasn't up to me. I didn't love that so much. I think that a part of me is a wild woman of the earth, where I feel like I don't want to necessarily be stopped when I'm on fire. When I'm on mad creative times, I want to just continue. And when my core resides in creating something else, I want to do that. I think that's it was challenging for me in the third year to realize that one part of it was, like waking up at that time, I'm like, I've been doing this now I'm 19 and I'm still waking up to be at school at 8 a.m., leave at noon, go home, come back. And so all that started to annoy me a little bit. And I wanted to go explore life. I was ready to go explore life in its own meanings of freedom. And I had discovered America, because normally the path was finishing fashion school in Morocco, going to Paris, and following that path. That was totally programmed, and I was part of the deal.
Right.
And that was all cool until I came a summer before to the United States to visit my brother. And then, I had heard of FIT in New York and how, the village and all this fashion madness and freedom of creativity was happening. And then here I am in New York City, one more year of fashion to be continued. And then my imagination is going wild, and I could see that I could start putting all my creativity into action.
Yeah.
And I was ready to unleash. I was ready to leave. And part of me feels like some things I finish, some things I don't finish. And I really liked what it did for me. It fed a part of me that felt like I did not need to finish a program that was man-made and man-created in order for me to be at my highest potential.
Wow. You know what's so cool? A lot of people feel like you feel. A lot of people don't understand the purpose behind school. And especially now with all the access to information that we have, the time, the this, you have to do this. And it is man-made. Honestly, it is.
Yeah.
So I honor you for just being like, you know what? F this. I tried it. And it wasn't for me.
Nope.
Because it's not for everybody.
No,
Schooling isn't for everybody.
Yeah.
So it's really cool that I think you have this really magic, conscious mind where you go with how you feel.
Yep.
And you don't second guess it.
Nope. Only, I will think about it for a second if I'm like, am I hurting anybody?
Yeah.
Am I doing anything that could put anybody in a bad position? If I'm not, then I'm going to go for it, because I feel like as long as I can, deal with the consequences, I study the consequences just a little bit, enough for me to know where I'm diving, to see what environment am I going to be in. And then I'm like, let's go.
Let's do this.
What do I need to do? And for me, I knew that my superpower resided in human connection, that I could get anywhere I wanted to through human connection, through interacting, through sharing what it is, and then feeling like, hey, what do I want to do? I think I can bring something for you, whatever you have as a company. I can work for you. I can help with whatever. I knew I did not second doubt that. And then also I loved working. I loved knowing that my work was being compensated with something, and that I could contribute to a bigger thing.
Yes.
So America felt like the perfect spot for me to be, because it could get me that as quick as I wanted to without going through so many steps. To further delay it, the momentum was here.
Right.
I had to take advantage of it in the real meaning, and just diving with all my energy. And I said, this is it. This is the place where I want to be. I'm going to go to America. That's it.
Wow. So what age did you leave Morocco?
20.
How did your mom and grandma feel?
I actually ran away.
What? You would run away. Oh my
Look,
God.
I had no reason to run away. I was lucky to have had a visa in my passport that was 10 years old. Yes, that's the only thing where I feel like my mom had a little pain because of it, because I didn't tell her. But it was at that point, it was part of me creating my story. And I could remove myself from myself and be able to see myself as also this adventurer of life, that this bird that is ready to fly, that, all it needed is to feel confident enough to fly. And because people that its parents loved it, trusted it to do that flight. And for me, I was it. And I knew that I was going to be received well, even though it was going to be discomfort and a little pain, but that I was going to make up for it by really showing up strong for the whole tribe.
Ooh.
So
hold on, I need to get down to this. How did you run away?
Run away from Casablanca to New York.
Yes.
Technically. I had, so I planned it for a month. I had Oh, yeah. That was 1996, October 1996. So school started in September, third year of fashion school. I knew already that wasn't going to be it. I told I had my fashion, he was my pattern teacher who was amazing. We were super close. And he believed in me so strongly. And he's like, look, if you feel it, you've got to do it. Feel it, you got to do it. I'm here to help you. So I said, this is what I'm going to do. Yeah. I don't want to have to tell everybody that I'm leaving. I'm going to write a letter, leave it with my younger brother, who is my ally and my, gift in this lifetime. And then all I needed was a ticket. But then also in the summer when I came in, I met this guy who I fell in love with. So we had this beautiful relationship, and he was the one that actually bought me a ticket.
Perfect.
He bought me a ticket. And then for me, it was like, okay, I'm going to come and I'm going to find a way and I'm going to work and I'm going to, whatever it takes, I started packing for about a month. It took me a month to make a little suitcase because every day I went to school, I took clothes and I packed it in my friend's house. Comes the day, which was a really divine, intense day in my life where I woke up and then I knew like I was leaving. And then I was like, okay, it's time. I'm ready to no longer live in my parents' house. I need to, do this. There was this beautiful call to the prayer, as I'm sure you've witnessed in Morocco,
The prayer is incredible.
5 a.m. I was listening to that. And then I kissed my parents, goodbye. And I said, look, I'm not coming home for lunch. I went to see my brother. I did not lie, but I only said I'm not coming home for lunch.
Right.
Which was true. Yeah. And I gave the letter to my brother, who also fully supported me and believed. And I said, give them this letter at 8 p.m. when I'm going to be already in New York.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And then I got my suitcase from my friend and then hopped on a taxi cab and went to the airport. And then from there, I was 6.5 hours away. I was in New York City.
Yo, this is like a movie right now.
It was wild. It was wild. I had my Barbie with me. I was 20, the one that was been with me since I was 13, that I designed everything for. And then I had my drawings, all my portfolio from fashion school. And then I was in my plane alone. Wow. And it was so amazing. And I had America was opening its door to create the canvas of my life.
Wow. So you knew this is where you needed to be.
I did. Yeah, I did. It was very cool. It was very cool to come here. And I even shared a taxi ride from the airport to the Greyhound station with somebody I met at the airplane. And I was talking in English in ways that was still a beginner's way, but I was, I felt truly an American in the sense of I'm here to create, I'm here to contribute to this culture that has welcomed people from all over to help them have a better life for themselves.
And I think that's one of the biggest things. When people come from all over the world into America, they want to feel how you feel. Mm-mm. Right?
Yeah. I mean, you feel it. You feel it because you hear so much. I mean, America, I grew up watching movies from here, listening to music from here, hearing lyrics, that I barely understood, but yet could relate to in the sense of rhythm. So this country spoke to me, and it continues to speak to thousands of people all over the world because it symbolizes the ability to go from what's in your mind could become your reality. It's up to you. Wow. Nobody's going to block you here. And I really feel it to this day. It is still the case. And you feel it here when you go back to certain countries like Morocco, which is fantastic.
Beautiful place.
Beautiful place. Country. Not the same ability to manifest your will to contribute to the society with your superpower. Wow. And it's not going to be received the same way, nor are you going to be able to make a decent living.
Right.
That is going to allow you to thrive. Because that also is, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's so beautiful because being an American, living in America, we don't think like that.
For sure.
I've never experienced how beautiful and how freeing this country is.
Yep.
Until I sit with incredible women like you that really make me realize
Yeah.
This is so dope because you had this fire in you. Yeah. So now you're in New York. You're in the jungle.
I was there.
You're living it.
I was there. Yeah, I was there for a little bit. And then, had a little bit of experiences. I had friends that I had met. And, I had that boyfriend who I ended up marrying later.
Yeah.
who I was with for 4 years, who was amazing. And, you know, we had this fantastic relationship, but he showed up for me big time. He also believed, you know, in me and guided me through the path for a few years. Right. You know, I had guardian angels. That's why I said I've had guardian angels. While my grandmother was still back home, I know she was praying deeply in her heart that I would be okay, that everything will work out. You know, these prayers are heard. Yeah. People that pray, I say, your prayers I heard, you know, let your ancestors pray for you, pray for them, continue to do it. They show up. Yeah. They showed up for me so many times. Wow. In the hardest moments of my life. I know my grandmother's prayers show up.
Really?
I really do.
Grandmas are special, dude. Like, they have special superpowers.
Yeah. They say it's double the love that they feel for you than the one they feel for their own kids. I see it with my mom and my own kids, how she feels for them, you know, and she says it's love times 2.
You know, it's so cool because when we're at our lowest lows, when we feel like, shit, I have to start over. How am I going to do this?
Yeah.
When things happen, like, for instance, you're getting this new place for a month, free. Mm-hmm. You know you're on your right path. Mm-hmm. You know it, but you're trusting your intuition, and you're going with the flow of life. Yeah. So now you're in fashion. When do you do the shift? When did you shift from fashion to culinary school?
Well, the shift happened in Philadelphia when I was freelancing. I was doing freelancing for these drag queen shows. You know, because I love doing things out of recycled fabrics. And then I was into Jean-Paul Gaultier's bustier that came out with Madonna and faucets in the boobs and, you know, all that corsets. And I loved working with fabrics that were out there and also just working with recycling. What can I do with garbage bags? What can I do with aluminum? What can I do with things? Just when I was doing that, I was like, you know what? There was this company that I loved so much that was called La Colombe. It's a coffee place that opened in Philadelphia in 1998. And I happened to go have my coffee there in the morning. And so they were opening another branch. And then I said, this is really cool. You know, I would love to come in the mornings and help out as the place was opening. So I got hired to do that. I had never worked in the industry before. And so they taught me all about, you know, roasting coffee and the bean and the quality and how to, you know, train 3 months before you can serve an actual coffee to somebody that's really is worthy of being paid for that amount of money, that how much you need to hear and close your eyes and listen to the sound of a cappuccino being made, because you can tell it's a bad one just by the noise. Wow. So training with these really high quality people, Todd and Jean-Philippe, they were amazing. Went to stay with them for a little while, actually opened a cafe restaurant in Philly. Ended up working there for 2.5 years from scratch, being anything from making coffee to helping craft a menu that was Southern France based, working with ingredients, knowing how to talk to people. What is the relationship of food and people when you're behind the bar? Right. You know, for me, that was really important also to understand that dynamic that was very new, because the bar is behind you, people are ordering, and you can tell they're excited by the way you're describing the food to them. That was back in 1999 in Philadelphia. And so because we built such beautiful relations together, I ended up going to Miami. There was a Shore Club hotel opening in Miami in South Beach that needed a manager. So I went for that to open up the restaurant that was going to be the restaurant of the Shore Club hotel.
So that was a point where you were like, fashion, it was great.
Fashion was great.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. I never really worked in it high in a way, but I knew that the excitement was coming from something else. Yeah. You know, but food and the people in food was it for me.
I think people are it for you. Mm-hmm. And food is like just like that medium topping. Yeah, because you could do anything with anyone whenever. But I want to, there's probably all these incredible listeners right now thinking like, wow, I want to come to America and be a fashion designer. Yeah. I want to come here. How did Yasmina do it? What would you tell that person listening?
I say take all the steps you can to do it. If you want to design, if you want to come and create and do something, get in touch directly with the source. I think it's really important to believe in your ability. I think there is power. Sometimes we feel like, how can I touch base with that? I need somebody that introduces me or a middle person.
Right.
You can find that middle person. If you can't seek the highest part, find a way to get there.
Right.
Find a way to get there. Use what you have to deliver to the people to communicate what it is you want. People land big internships in many places just because they believed in sending their,
And I always say, pitch yourself.
Pitch yourself.
Pitch yourself.
That's it.
Even if you don't feel ready.
For sure.
Because I always tell people, you never know what they need. You never know what they need. And maybe that's not the role, but maybe they have something else for you.
Correct.
And you can slide your way in.
Yep. You can find your space, and if your space is meant to be there, it will be. And sometimes to not take no. Ever take no as an answer. No is not an answer. To me, no is the beginning.
I like
this
that.
Is where I begin. If it's a no and I really want it, I almost, it goes like I switch it. It's like on. I'm on. There's no.
Ooh, I like that.
It's
no means go.
It's go. It means I'm on. And then, you know what? Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. I think confidence, well-built confidence. Sometimes confidence, you see it with people that even they're still learning so much, but they have this confidence that makes you believe that they will get there.
And I think for women, that's the key.
Yeah.
Having the confidence just to step into the room, having the confidence just to speak up, to use your voice.
Yeah.
Having the confidence to know, like, this is where I belong. This is what I want to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Confidence is the key to life.
It's huge. And it has to be a different confidence. I think we see it often now because women and their bodies and their physical appearance, especially women that are attractive, that have stepped into this world knowing that that's a powerful tool.
Yes.
And that's not something that they can also, that you need to almost take into the side and feel like there has to be something else inside of you that's not going to be. There is.
Yes.
It is there. It is there. And to not just simply see how people are looking at you from your physical body, because I think our inner body that speaks way louder through our eyes, right?
100%.
That's, I mean,
our volume is from our inner.
Yeah.
Your energy speaks more than anything.
And I think I'm glad, because I think energy is everything.
You are energy. You are the best energy ever.
She's everything.
So I can just visually see you working with the drag queens, making these sick ass costumes, and now you're cooking.
Yeah.
And first of all, you all will have to go to our cooking class because it's incredible here in LA. But food and you and people, to you, that is, I think, utopia. I think it's a place where it's just happiness, it's love, it's connection, it's harmony. You have this way of just bringing people in and making them feel like they're at home. And food, like I said, is a catalyst.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
You got it. I mean, that's exactly it.
Yeah. But it's you. So, being a chef isn't easy.
No.
And I know this. My youngest brother is a chef, and I'd always be like, why are you going from job to job? Like, what are you doing? And I learned from you that night at dinner, like, a chef, you're always learning. So you're jumping from here to there, and to make a living, you work long hours.
Yeah.
So I want to know about your experience as a chef, how that worked with your love life, as a woman too, in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Because a lot of kitchens are run by men. Tell me about this.
Well,
experience.
A little something maybe that you didn't know. I've never really worked fully as a chef in a restaurant kitchen. So the restaurant we own with my husband in Chicago, with my late husband in Chicago, is the restaurant was opened by his father in 1972. The restaurant still stands there, and I was a part of it for 11 years.
What is it?
It's called La Crêperie. And it's an institution. It truly is an institution in America. It's a fantastic place of stories, of love. And that's also a place where, when I met my late husband in Philadelphia, when I was doing another part of a restaurant, which was a fantastic experience, I came to this place, and then while his mother had passed away, they needed somebody else to really step in and take the restaurant again to another level. And I knew I had that ability, and they wanted me to do that. So we revamped the menu, we created new items, we made it a little bit more in, and then it was fantastic. You know, it was really, it was already fantastic, but we took it to a higher level. So I was, you know, interacting with the chefs in the kitchen that have been there for 25 years.
Wow.
So I knew how the kitchen operated very, very well. And I knew how kitchens operated before, because I was always in the front of the house, part of the restaurant.
Right.
And the food, I was the one that cooked afterwards. So people came to my place where I cooked and hosted parties, you know, and the restaurant kitchen wasn't necessarily where I operated my magic. It was in home kitchens.
Right.
And then most of the time, everybody would say, why are you not doing this for a living? You're so good at this, you know, I love your food. And Moroccan food isn't necessarily so known in America.
It's not, which is so crazy to me, because Moroccan food is
going to
the
change.
best.
It's really good. Yeah. It's really, really good. And I feel like not many of us were able to bring it to make it as accessible as it should be.
Right.
And I think it's changing slowly. It will change slowly. But yeah, it exists. It's a home-driven kitchen.
Yes.
It's a home-driven food.
Yes.
So for me, it was doing that while running the French bistro with my husband for a while, you know? And so I learned a bunch of things about ordering. I did inventory. I did everything that I needed to do, other than if I needed to cook, I would. Right. I knew I could do it if I was needed, if somebody didn't show up, but that barely ever happened.
Wow.
So that part was cool, but I knew that opening another place was in the works. Yes. And that's how LA ended up happening, from Chicago to LA, to open another place where we're going to do our own thing as well, leaving the home base in Chicago and doing La Crêperie LA.
Wow.
And that's where the full-on expression was going to take. I was going to be more in the kitchen and all that.
Yes.
But unfortunately, my husband passed away after we moved to LA, 10 days after. Wow. So it was quick. We move our whole life, everything, you know.
Now you have kids at this time. You're in Chicago. You have 2 kids.
Correct.
You're a working mom.
Yep.
You're a wife.
Yep.
You're running a restaurant.
That's right. Yep.
And now you have an opportunity to open a restaurant in LA.
Correct.
Which is probably like huge.
Super.
Were you guys like freaking out, like, holy shit?
It was, you know, it was welcomed. It was prepared well.
Yeah.
It was prepared well. And also, once again, when I trust, I can put fire in you to make you believe anything. That everything
I
is
believe
possible.
that. I believe that.
I have, you know, so for my husband, it was the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, it was that. And we're like, we have everything possible. We're going to go look for a place. We're going to start it. We've already done this. We have a good base of people that love us and vouch for us. And all it takes is few customers in, and then for the word to mouth to happen. Just, this is it, you know, we're going to do it.
Yeah.
It was clear, you know, it's like, bring food and great customer service, great food, great customer service, do a good business plan that works, we're there. Yeah. You know, in a place where you don't have that much competition doing what you're doing also.
So you moved to LA?
Moved to LA, did that whole transition. It went so smooth. Everything was like, from how we sold our house to how the partners in the restaurant in Chicago happened, to everything, to finding a place in LA, to our kids changing schools. Like, it was just great. I had already have a little brother and my mother who lived here. So it was really nice. We had a cool...
They were already in LA?
They were already in LA.
Oh, wow. So your brother and mother were in LA?
They were in LA.
So now it's time.
It was time. It's like, let's share life.
Yeah.
Let's do a little bit of life together with, you know, my part of the family, which was really fun. To also give the children that ability to see what that's like. And you know what? After 11 winters in Chicago.
I can only imagine. Honestly, I want to know, how is it being a mother running all of this? Because I always think it's so incredible. Mothers are the most special, gifted human beings on planet Earth. I believe that. I'll always believe that.
Yeah.
How did you do it?
Oh, well, you know, it was doable. I think I also had a great team. You know, we had a good team of people working, but then I also loved, there was not one day that I didn't love what I did. You know, I would drop, when the kids were old enough, they were going to school. When they were newborns, we actually lived above the restaurant. Wow. Which was a whole different story.
And you manifested that.
Yes.
That is wild, because in the beginning of this, you literally told me that's what you wanted to do.
That's right. The family house was above the restaurant for first couple years of us having my first son.
Right.
So things were relatively easy. You know, it was great. I was breastfeeding. My kid would come with me to the restaurant, to the kitchen. He would be in the baby bjorn with, you know, his father, and the servers would babysit sometimes. It was that kind of a vibe.
That's nice. It was like family.
It was like family. So we were able to make it work. I was able to see my husband most of the time.
Right.
Which was really great, you know, so it was easy because of that.
Right.
And then we worked it together, you know, so nights where I had to stay until midnight, some nights he had to, and we had a great chef, and we, you know, would come down. We made the best out of it because the restaurant life was our life. It wasn't work.
Right. Right.
It was life.
So you were able to play the mother role.
That's right.
The wife.
Yeah.
The chef
That's
in the
right.
kitchen running everything. So now you moved to LA.
Yeah, we moved to LA.
And your husband passes in 10 days.
That's right. 10 days after.
You know, it was so crazy. You mentioned this when we were in cooking class.
Yeah.
And I looked at Jason like, what the fuck? In my head, I was like, how did she do it? Literally, that's what I was thinking in my head. Like, whoa. Because never in a million years would I thought, because of your energy and how you hold yourself and your spirit, that anything so crazy could have happened to you or has happened to you. I would never have felt that.
Yeah.
And then you said it and I was like, whoa, what? You know,
Yeah.
moving to LA is a huge thing.
It was a big deal. I mean, it's a big change of life.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember one day, you know, this is a really intense moment where it hit me all of a sudden, where my, at that time, 8-year-old son looks at me in the morning and he's like, doesn't want to go to school. And he goes, I said, why, Ryan? Why don't you want to go to school? And he goes, Mom, do you believe what just happened to me? I've changed cities. I'm in a new school. I'm in a new life. And I just lost someone. I don't want to go to school. And I go, okay, fuck that. No school. Let's just stay home together.
Wow.
No school. And he felt it. And he was like, you know, and for me, I was in go mode. You know, okay, Papa died. Shit happened. It was an accident. It was horrible. It was the most painful thing I've ever felt in my life.
Yeah.
That took me to depth of where is this going to end as far as pain is concerned.
Yeah.
But then the sun is shining. The seasons are still happening.
Yeah.
Life is still going.
It's still moving.
Nothing stops at all. Nothing. Not even, you know, even the television programs start to get on, you know, you're like, why? My life just changed and this is just playing again.
Literally.
Or like you hear songs in the radio, like you're not supposed to play. Like this was my husband and I song. And so you're like, look at your kids and you're like, Mama's got to cry. I need 5 minutes. We need to cry right here. I'm going to stop the car. Okay. All right. And then you're like, everything is going to keep going the same. The sadness is going to be there. But you know what? This is life. Life is full of these things. And we got to deal with one of the hardest things that somebody had to deal with, which is losing somebody that early in a path. But then yet, the amount of gestures of kindness that showed up from strangers, because I had joined this Venice mother group when I moved to LA for support and finding playgrounds and things like that, that all of them ended up showing up when they found out, because I didn't know what to do. I was like, hey, people, is there any people here? My kids don't want to go to Chicago for their father's funeral. And I feel, I don't know what to do. Should I force them to go or should I not? Please tell me. I have no idea. My son is like, I don't want to take an airplane and I don't want to go to Papa's funeral and I'm just going to be here. I'm happy to be here now. I had no idea what to do. So these people, you know, advised me, brought meals, gave me massages, gifts of all kinds of love pouring from heaven.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is amazing. Like, this is really in the midst of such sorrow. Community shows up in LA where most of the people said, you know what, all these people in LA.
I hate when people say that shit.
I'm like, this is complete lies.
Yeah.
These people are
incredible.
So incredible. They're so human.
Wow.
So, you know what? My kids, the sun shining, the weather, you know, this amazing weather, the ocean, because that's why I also wanted to be in LA, is to be close to the ocean and the mountains and having a culturally exciting city to thrive in, and being close to my brother and my mom, who were my pillars. I mean, they supported everything when I needed to just go for endless bike rides to just clear my mind so I can be a mother and not completely be chaotic, you know. It was crazy, but I kept it going. You know, I had a cool little house, you know, I was still cooking and had to do my daughter's birthday. So I invited all the neighbors, then back to cooking again, right? Showing the love through food. And then neighbors are loving the food. We're talking about it. You know, it's starting to create little ideas. And I'm like, well, obviously I'm not going to open a restaurant because my kids, I want to be there for them. Because if you open a restaurant, and I didn't want my mother or my brother to be the only ones taking, I wanted to be there, you know, take them to school, get them acclimated with a new city. So that, you know, the restaurant went in the back and it's like, what can I do? What else can I do? You know, to be in passion of something I love while dealing with sorrow. So I took a year. Thank God, you know, I was okay, you know, financially, which was a really amazing thing. We know what I say. We had life insurance with my husband. You know, and that helped. We, as soon as we got pregnant, that's the first thing. Before, you know, we got married, we did life insurance. And that showed up. You know, a lot of people say, how did you sustain? I said, that showed up.
People don't think about this.
They don't think about that when you're getting married. Really? And it's like, we looked at each other and say, baby, you know what? If one of us is to have something, we at least need to know that you're going to be okay.
And I want you to be safe. And protected.
That's right. And if we have kids or whatever, the least thing that you want to worry about is a place to rent or utilities for a while, you know, things like that. And that's why I talk about it bluntly. And I say, you know what? Write your will, do these things, plan for, we're not here to be forever. Things could change like that. So I think it gives you a peace of mind. So,
and I think your experience will speak to so many people listening because we don't think about that enough. I just did my life insurance, actually.
Great, congrats.
I did it last month.
Amazing.
And it was weird as hell.
I'm sure.
To do it. I was like, what in the world am I, like, I'm already doing this shit. I'm still young. But I was like, I want my things to be protected. I want my family to be fine. I want things to be how I want them to be. And if you don't take advantage of that, I think as women too specifically, we have to start protecting ourselves.
Correct.
And being aware of these things. A lot of women aren't aware. You know, men are usually the driving force. They handle the things. We have to take care of it as well.
That's right. We have to. I mean, we're a driving force in our relationships most of the time, in our families. You know, women, we carry life through our bodies. I mean, we have huge responsibilities on our and also to speak it, to be confident in saying, hey, you know what, this is what I want, you know, from us in a relationship, you know, that's going to go further. There's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong
with love. That in a material world where we live as well as a spiritual one, you've got to honor both. To feel to have the confidence to continue.
100%.
You need both.
And you have to be brave enough to use your voice. I think a lot of women don't have that courage or they feel this or that. No. This is your life.
Correct.
I always said, this is our life. This is your life.
It's a big deal.
And you have to protect yourself because when things happen, like the loss of a husband.
You never planned for that.
No, I can only imagine.
Years would have thought I was going to be a single mother
How old
at
were you?
37 when I became a widow. When my best friend looked at me and he's like, you're a widow right now. I said, oh, you're right. I am. I was 37. Yeah, we met. I was 25 and I was a widow at 37.
And was it sudden?
Well, it was sudden. I mean, he unfortunately died of, you know, what killed millions of people like him in America. It's the OxyContin. He was addicted to painkillers.
Wow.
So the death was sudden for sure. But he had battled with addiction for a couple of years before that. And, you know, it's something that's real and it hits the core. And never people would have thought, you know, this super beloved kid. I mean, he was on the Sun Times in Chicago. He's a beloved kid of Chicago. He's, you know, beautiful human being that did the Peace Corps, that contributed to so much, you know, like just a terrific soul. But yet again, got addicted to the meds and it took his life. It did.
Addiction is something hard. It's hard. And it's hard to see somebody struggle with addiction.
Super hard. It's one of the most painful things to see.
Wow.
Yeah.
How did you navigate that?
It was very difficult to navigate. It was so difficult to navigate to the point where I started asking God to do what's best.
Yeah.
I said, God, please do what's best. Because we tried everything. We tried everything with
Rehab,
him.
everything.
Rehabs, 6 rehabs, super family support, all kinds of things.
Wow.
Like really everything. And he tried everything he could. We had a family together and we had a dream life. We really did have a beautiful life together.
And I believe you manifested everything.
We did. We had amazing friends and family, and our kids were healthy and so much love. And the restaurant was doing great. And we were doing so many wonderful things with our business that were going to take us even higher.
Right.
So all of those elements were present, but the addiction was there doing its thing, and it did it and it won. And sometimes that's what happens. It wins.
So sorry. Now I'm saying this because I know there are people listening right now that probably deal with people with addiction.
Yes. Oh.
Is there anything you could tell them? Because sometimes I feel like you feel hopeless and you feel like you can't do anything, especially when you've exhausted all the options.
Yeah.
How does one deal with it? How does a woman, how does a wife, a sister?
A sister, a mother, you for me it's the connection to the spiritual side. It's trusting that if you believe in God, to say, God, please do what's right, the universe, please do what's God for this human being. If he's whatever it is, we know we have a path, there is a plan.
Yes.
It's there. Doing the best thing you can do, acting from love, always acting from love, whatever, because addiction wants to make you angry and creates a behavior that is not really yourself.
Yes.
And so that's terrible to witness. Being able to take a moment, get support, speak about it.
Right.
Don't hide.
Yes. That's the key.
Don't hide.
Yeah.
Share it with the people. And even if sometimes it feels like you feel shame because you're like, my beautiful, smart, super awesome husband is addicted. And yes, that's real. But you're not going to share it with everybody, but share it with your true people.
Yes.
That are going to be showing up for you. Go to educate yourself about how to detach with love in ways that can,
I think that's interesting, how to detach with love.
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
Wow.
I had to have 2 parts, where you have compartments within your brain.
Yes.
Your heart brain.
Yeah.
We have compartments, and I think you can tap into that, where I can see you and say, I love you so much. And until death parts us, like really.
Yeah.
My husband and I was like, there was nothing else that was going to separate us other than death.
You know what's so crazy? I would have loved to meet him.
Yeah.
Because I know he had to be special.
He was amazing.
He had you.
Oh my God, he was incredible.
And it hurts my heart for you, but I can only imagine how beautiful of a life you guys had.
We did.
And addiction is such a hard battle.
It's ugly.
And it's hard for everybody that's around it and surrounded by it.
Family, friends, everybody.
Yeah. And I think there's so much power in you sharing the story. So I thank you, period,
You're
for
welcome.
sharing that with so many people that are listening.
Yeah.
But now, like you said, you're 6 years out and now you can talk about it.
For sure. I've talked about it nonstop, but I wasn't able to be tearless.
Yes.
Not, I think also there's a part where I said I cried every tear in my body, truly, which was really intense. I can barely cry anymore.
Wow.
But it doesn't hit me in my throat anymore.
Right.
Like the pain really does end, like physical pain when you cut yourself, like all of these things really end when you make peace.
Yes.
You make peace with it, and you've got to make peace with it for sure.
What was the point where you made peace?
Oh, for me, I made peace because for me, I lived to say I love you until the end. I say don't ever separate on a note of terribleness, or make a phone call and say I'm sorry, or I love you, or to the people that you care about. And my husband, we said I love you until I put him in an airplane to fly back to Chicago 10 days after, and we're making out in the airport with our kids. And the last words we shared was, I love you, baby.
Yeah.
It was like that beautiful, although my heart could feel, because I had an instinct. Something was going to happen.
Yeah.
So saying I love you and separating on the note of love, which is a higher vibration. It's so high, it connects you to the heavens. Feels like peace already is there.
Right.
Because you know what? You've done everything. You lived
you knew
your
you
truth.
did everything.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We both did.
Yes.
We really did. We gave it everything.
Yes.
And, and I think living in authenticity, truly with love, no fear, not doing things just because people say that that's the right thing to do. Oh, leave or take your kids and go. Yeah, but that's not necessarily the thing that's working out for me right now. I'm going to stick it out.
Yeah.
I'm going to stick it out. And then this is love, and it's okay. And it's really hard. And I had moments where I wanted to pack up and leave, and I did it. And I started driving to LA and then went back again to Chicago. I was like, what am I doing? I was like, my kids are in the back. They're like, where are we going? LA. Okay, 2 hours in Indiana. I'm like, no, Mama had a moment of impulse. Yeah. And I'll tell you more about it. We talked about addiction with them because their dad would come back from rehab and we'd go through brain and whatever. And we'll explain all that. We spoke openly about what was going on.
With their children.
With the children.
Which I think is...
They feel everything.
Yeah.
And
they see everything.
See everything.
They know.
Can't hide much.
Yeah.
You give them as much as they can comprehend, but validate their instinct. Always. Always validate
That's beautiful. Because I feel like people forget that. Kids are aware. Kids are beyond aware.
Oh my God. If they don't even understand, they're going to feel way more than we do.
Wow.
So validate them. Be super honest with everything that's going on. Use language that can tap into them, but explain to them the truth.
Yeah.
More than anything, I think that gives them confidence as a human being.
Right.
My dad did that with me. He spoke raw. Yeah. He spoke raw truth to me, and I love him for that.
It's so crazy. My papa just passed last month. And before he passed, I was with him holding his hand every day. And he looked at me and he said, if you have something to say it, but always tell the truth. And he would always tell me that, and it's so true. Tell the truth and be in your truth and speak how you feel and mean what you say. And honoring yourself, you're honoring everybody else around you.
Correct.
Because I feel like this pain actually comes back into you as so much light, to be honest, So you dealt with this loss, and now I feel like a lot of us, when we fall or we have a major loss, we get depressed, we cry, we're sad. Some days I stay in bed, you know what I mean? With my grandfather passing, I didn't want to get out of bed. But then you get back up, right? And I think that's the beauty of a woman, of a man that deals with loss. You have to get back up and start living in your truth.
Yeah.
So
live in your truth.
Yes.
Baby. All the way.
So now you're 37.
Yeah.
You were 37
I was
at the time.
Yeah.
With 2 kids.
Yeah.
Thank God you had a team around you to help you survive. I think that's a major thing too. People reach out to people and ask for help.
Ask.
I think it's so dope that you had that motherhood, sisterhood, Venice family that came and swooped in. That's so incredible. Yeah. But it's brave of you to ask.
Yeah.
Because some of us don't ask for help.
I did not have an answer.
Yeah.
The truth is that went inside myself and then I had zero answer. And I said, let me ask the tribe, see what they say.
Yes.
And whatever answer gave me, whatever answer gave me that I felt good with it is the one I chose. And sure enough, none of my kids went to their father's funeral and they were super fine with it. Wow. We went to a memorial 4 months later and they were happy to go.
Wow.
They wanted to go and be a part of that. Right. They were not ready to do that. And, I did not want to live with that guilt of like, oh my God, but I was at peace 100%. I actually wrote letters with them about it.
Wow.
To keep in the memory of Papa, because we have a whole suitcase full of these things of the memory, of Papa. And it's cool. It was like, hey, we wrote this together and it's important for you to grow up and say, these are the paths of losing a parent and these are your choices. And I want you to know I honored your choices even when you were 8 years old. I want you to know I respect your wish. I will not force you.
That's beautiful.
That's all I could do.
That's so beautiful.
That's what felt real to me, you know?
And I just think I'm so thankful that you had that sisterhood around you. I mean, your tribe.
Our women.
Yes. It's
our
so important
women.
to have this tribe of women around you, to guide you, to help you.
Yeah.
I feel like when you have women around you that honor you, you become 10 times the woman you already are.
Correct.
And it's in such a time that you were in, you were able to like come back. And your light's probably even brighter than ever.
Yeah. I feel like the switch button is on and it's on, and it's on when it's on and it gets excited, and it took a woman to also be like, hey, you need to start teaching and make money from it. Why don't you make money from this stuff that you're doing? Because for me, money is an entity that I don't always put into cooking. In the beginning of my path, it was just all about love.
Yeah.
This is how I love you guys. Come and eat, let's go.
That's how she really is too, naturally. She is this.
I really am. That's how I am.
She is like the coolest fucking woman ever. And it's just like, come over. Because that's how I felt when I walked into your house. Right. She was a stranger to me. I found it online. Cooking class.
My door is open, like truly, come over. And so she said, no, you can really make this into, you can actually, life insurance money ends and ultimately you're going to need to, do something. And this is your power. So why don't you try this? I said, okay, cool. I'm going to try it. As soon as that decision happened, boom, that company just actually, we matched. They found me. They came down. It was like, do you want to be part of our platform to teach? No. Be great. We don't have any Moroccan chefs. And it all worked. And that's how there was that. And then there was another thing that was like, there's no Moroccan products in LA like that I can go buy, like preserved lemons or eggplant caviar. So I said, I'm going to do the farmer's market. Let's figure it out. Okay. And then my grandmother's name popped in my dream.
Yes, Lalamina. I love that name. Woo! I love Grandma. So now you're walking in your path. Now you're walking in your power as a chef.
I asked,
as a single mom, raising your 2 kids still. And now you're doing what you are naturally great at, cooking food and creating this incredible world of humans around food.
Correct.
You are beyond.
Aww.
Honestly, when I left the cooking class that night, I was like, Jason, I need to see her again. He's like, baby. I said, I don't know. Like, maybe I was talking about my sister Diana. I said, maybe Diana can work with her because she's a chef. I just have to see her again. And he was like, okay, all right. Like, he's just listening. And I was like, I'm going to just reach out to her. I'm going to get her on the podcast. I need to see her again. Because you have this magic where you connect with the human, but you like bring something out of humans through food, with food.
Yeah.
But it's an experience. It's a feeling. Like, you made me feel like I was like your sister or something.
You ate from my heart.
Yeah.
Girl, that's what happened is that everything that I make, it's a true language of my love. Like, really.
Yeah.
It comes out from here. And then what we create and when we're talking, it's truly from my most intimate part that you feel.
I'm literally.
It's me raw.
It's Yasmina from Lalamina, grandma from Casablanca. Before you ran away, I'm living this life, this Moroccan culture so richly. One night with you in LA, and it was so magical.
Honored.
It was so cool because I went to Morocco in December.
Yeah,
and it was beyond I love Africa, period, but Morocco is special. And then meeting you and it just confirmed that Morocco, that your culture, it is everything that I believe it is. And, if you guys want to learn about the Moroccan culture, first of all, go learn how to cook with Yasmina because it will blow your mind.
Let's eat together.
Just eat our food.
Come eat.
It will change your life. Where can the people, if you're in LA, if you're even visiting in LA, how can they come and have this beautiful experience that Jason and I had?
Well, to have it privately, you can have it at my home, and you can find me on, book a class on my website already. So there is
Lalamina.
Lalamina LA. So LalaminaLA.com. That's one way. The other company I work for is Cozy Meal, which has been amazing. I've been with them for a few years, and they're awesome people to work with. And as a team. So Cozy Meal is also a way to book an experience with me privately. I come to you, you come to me, however you want to do it. And then I also teach at the School of Cooking called Gourmandise in Santa Monica, which is it's a less intimate experience, but really a lot of fun. So it's classes are about 16, 18 people. And it's everybody has their own stovetop and everything. And we have a lot of fun. Yeah. And it's also fabulous. Different vibe experience, not in my home or yours, but in a school setting. Bring your own bottle of wine, meet some cool people, eat and cook and learn. And so
joyful.
Yeah, and I can come to you.
Yeah.
You can call me.
Yeah.
And for as long as I'm in this, I'm going to continue doing it. And I'm excited. Like my weeks are often unknown. I'll know a little bit, a few things, but then the rest becomes a mystery often. So I love that unknown because I'm kind of like a nomad that way.
Yeah, you're this free spirit. So I feel
I like that.
This is what you're supposed to be doing now.
Yeah, I like it. It feels good to flow in people's kitchens.
Yes.
Go into people creating things with them in their own home. That I really love. Taking my kit and being and creating things, coming to my home and bringing different elements of pleasure, of sensation together, whether it's music and food and literature, combining that with people that don't necessarily know one another. Right. At least that's what they think. Magic. Until they meet and then they're like, cool talking to you, no longer a stranger. Yeah. So it feels good. Yeah. I feel good.
I've met you one night and I feel like there's no other thing that I could see you doing right now in this moment. Everything is always shift. We always shift, like you shift from fashion designer to, running a business. Now you're at this phase of your life.
Correct.
But you're owning it. And I think that's the coolest thing. Every phase of your life you owned and you believed and you trust your intuition. Yeah. Sometimes, and like you said, some days it's unknown. You don't know, but you trust it.
You do. You don't always feel. Sometimes your feeling don't always validate you. Right. But I say, for as long as you're doing something that, like feeling like, I'm going to wake up, I have to go work out. Like sometimes you don't feel like it, but you will never regret it if you go and do it. Right. You will come back and never.
So get your ass up and work out. Just so
go and do it. Yeah. That's like, you will never regret saying I love you to somebody, right? Never. Ever. Even if they're like mean to you or whatever, you feel like you did something really that's in your truth, right? So I feel like, continue doing. Sometimes doing, when you don't always feel, continue to do until you feel again. Yes. Is a way, as long as it doesn't last too long. Yes. Where, the spark has to keep coming. Right. Because you don't always have the spark. But then it's like you got to ignite. Right. And what we do is our fire's got to be ignited through either an interaction, through time alone, or through an amazing workout or music. You turn the stove on. Yes. And I feel like I operate like a stove. Yeah. Like, I would need that little thing sometimes.
You need to click on.
Yeah.
We all do.
Yeah.
Because every day is not sunny and bright and blue skies and it's going to go right. Mm-mm. You got to have that switch. Yeah. And you got to turn it on.
You got to turn it on. It's a choice. Yeah. Do I want to turn it on or just leave it off? Yes. Let me turn it on. I know what I need. It's like your own toolbox.
Right. It's true. It really is. Yeah. What do you think is something that can automatically turn you on? Is your kids like a driving force?
No, that's not always easy. Kids can like drive you nuts sometimes. Oh my God. It's like you can take the energy that you no longer have and take it even lower. And you're like, I need to go. I love them to death.
Yeah, I know.
No, music will do it. Music for me, music will do it immediately. I know that happens. Or going out, being on my bike or going for a run and just letting my body physically generate, doing it with my own self-body. Right. So those two things, or an interaction in the street, meeting somebody at the farmer's market. Like when I go on Wednesday, Santa Monica, I'll be sometimes a little funky. I'm not super inspired, but then having a conversation with somebody that's just there and talking about food will get me on fire right away. That is never failing, actually. That's
farmer's market, talking with strangers.
I love that.
Best. That's me to my core.
I can imagine.
Would always say, can you come with me to this event? I have to talk to people. I'm like, yeah, I'm there.
You're there.
I love it. I love people. We all have a story.
That's right.
So
that's right.
And your life is so full. Your story is so inspiring. So what's next? I know you have a book you're working on.
Yep.
Tell us about this book, because you guys need to hear about this. And I think it will inspire other people to take account of their journey as they go. So tell us about your book. What's next?
Yep. So the book, which I'm 99% sure is going to be called Raw, Exposed and Ready to Eat, which is a life story from Casablanca to Los Angeles. Yeah. And it's all the chapters are actually emotional food memories that have recipes in them that capture every moment of my life since I can recall, where all the people, which mostly have been women, that have inspired the path and the journey through a sense, through taste, most of it, because growing up, love was shown through food. It's like, I saved this little thing for you, come eat it. Or I made you this thing. It was so special to eat something from your grandmother or your aunt or somebody. And it's a woman's story. That's also a cookbook. So it's a cookbook that you can flip through chapters that have a dish that's going to be at the end of each chapter with a moment of life, capturing that journey of dealing with everything, basically, from growing up in a Muslim country, dealing with all what that means as a woman that had all her sexual needs, rebellious, nonconformist ways, to becoming the wife of somebody that's going to become an addict, to running an amazing restaurant and doing really fabulous things, to feeling the deepest sorrows and having moments where I was at zero in my bank account, and then still working the magic and showing up and recreating a life, and not letting pain take away your power, but using pain as an igniter to create your fierceness. And so this is coming, I've journaled since I was 10 years old, so I combined all those journals into this cookbook, but it's a shorter version with my most favorite meals to eat that bring me such joy and happiness, and what they meant and who inspired those meals. So that's the book.
Ooh, I'm stoked for this. I'm excited.
I'm really excited, which I'm hoping would coincide with a restaurant opening, because the restaurant is in the works.
Yes.
That has to happen, which right now I'm seeing a few things happening, and being able to bring Moroccan food to, which it's simplicity, but also complex ways, and also fusing it with what LA is about and bringing it to the public, to the people of LA. Right. It's time for that to happen. Right. And I'm ready. My kids are older. I feel like now it's a time for me to be able to step away a little bit, and, they can come and be a part of the place, wherever this is gonna happen. But it's happening. It's in the works.
I'm excited.
All of it. The book, the restaurant.
Oh, I'm so
much love.
Stoked.
So much love.
Yasmina, I just want to say thank you for coming and sharing your story. Honestly, I knew there was so much depth to you. You were so free when I walked into your house. I felt it. I knew I wanted to know you beyond just that cooking class.
Well, you're like that.
I knew it though.
You could see it too.
Thank
right?
you.
Yeah, you are.
I could feel it. And when I left, I was like, Jason, I need to see. I need her in my life. And he's like, you're so crazy. And I go, I know, but I do. I need her. So I just want to say thank you for that.
Thank you.
And for coming and for sharing your story and being vulnerable with everybody listening. And I didn't touch on this, being from a Muslim country, but I'm going to with this question. So usually I ask every guest, what would you tell your 21-year-old self? Looking back through everything you've been through in your lifetime, is there something that you would tell yourself at 21 that could have guided you somewhere, that could have pushed you somewhere else? But I want to change it with you, because maybe there's a Moroccan woman, young girl right now, 18 to 21, living in a Muslim country, watching this. What would you tell that woman watching this right now?
I say, more than anything, religion could give you, religion can give you some guidelines, but find your own. Find your own religion, what speaks truthfully to you. You can vibrate with so many principles of a religion, and you can absolutely not. And if those become limitations to making you explore your highest purpose, then off they go.
Right.
There's no guilt, because that's man-made. I don't think we are made to feel guilt.
Right.
I'm a little bit of a rebel, for sure. And I could shock, because I grew up Muslim, and this is something that us Moroccan women often feel, especially when we come to other countries. We drink alcohol, we have sex before we're married, we do all these things. And it's happening all over the place, but there's this hypocrisy. And I say, we don't need all that. Be real. But if it, in my case, I was able to do it safely. I know it wasn't harming myself. Nobody was going to kill me or do anything. In other countries where things could put your life into, it's a much tougher thing. I haven't lived that to be able to understand what it is. I can only imagine. And I say, you know what, don't let anybody nor anything dim your light. if you're not going to live to your purpose, no religion, nobody, no words, no doctrine, no political reason.
Yes.
Your light is bigger than anything.
It so is. And your light is probably one of the biggest lights I've met here in LA. Honestly. So I just want to say thank you. I hope you guys consumed that message because it was powerful. That was really powerful. Thank you for inspiring everybody. Thank you for empowering me. Thank you for being you and walking in your light, even in your darkest times. I just think it's super dope that for me as a woman that aspires to be a mother and a wife and own their own business, I look up to women that are doing it. And I just it's so profound to see women doing it because I know I can because of
fierce.
You. Yeah.
We're just so fierce and we're so strong and vulnerable and be all that.
All of it.
You are all of it. You are so beautiful and so fierce and so bright. And I'm so deeply honored to be exchanging here with you. And I know my grandmother had to do with that.
Lala Mina.
Lala Mina's brought.
100%. You know, I always say we got this.
Yeah.
Girl, we all got this.
We got this for sure.
We got this 100%. Believe it, own it, and surround yourself with people who believe it and know that we got this. And I think that's really the story.
Yeah.
You know, surrounding yourself with love and light.
That's right.
And your tribe. Because that's how you got this. That's how we're still here today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're there for you. Sometimes you're there for them.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
I love it.
It's a beautiful thing.
Thank you so much for sharing your story. You're the best.
You're the best.
I'm going to come over soon.
Oh, please do.
Jason too. Thank you so much, Yasmina.
You're so welcome. Thank you.